Hello everyone, thank you so much for joining in. This is Dylan from the Trinidad channel and I'm so excited that you made it for this video. In last week's video, I showed you exactly what I did to create this DIY hanging PVC planter here. In this video, we're going to do the easy part, which is planting into this planter. So let's get up and get going. So the first step is going to be loading in the dirt that I'm going to be using here. If you look at this, this is a mixture of compost and garden soil. You see how nice it crumbles? It clumps together, but then it crumbles. So that means this is going to have good water retention, but also good drainage, as well as a lot of good organic matter. If you look back here, you can just see some rotted twigs and stuff like that I have, right? This is called humus. This is the exoskeleton of things that were alive at some point, right? Things like twigs. And we're going to be using that to help us have a good microbial life inside of this. Even this planter here, it is still possible to have that. So now we have all the dirt filled in. It's time to get planting, which you need to do quickly because the sun is setting. It's getting really dark. So these are the plants that we're going to be planting in. I have some scythe, I have some celery, some parsley, and some fine thyme over here. If you're wondering why these plants specifically, it's that these are the perfect plants for a kitchen garden, at least for my kitchen garden. These are the things that we cook with all the time. I'm just putting in the holes where we're going to be planting our plants. I'm not putting the holes too very deep, just around an inch, inch and a half is more than enough. Also, if you notice, the spacing is not very far at all. In total, it's about 4 inches of spacing in between the plants. So I'm not looking at the space on each side, but a combination of the space on both sides. So 2 inches on the right, 2 inches on the left. We have a 4-inch space between plants, which is more than sufficient for these type of seasoning plants. Now, as you notice, as I'm putting the plants in, I'm not actually firming it around just yet. Just resting the plants, the plugs inside, just up until the depth of the roots itself. And then I'll come back and firm around the dirt right around the root base of the plant here. You can go, fairly deep if you want, but going too deep can cause some root rot to happen. So it's good to just cover the bulb of roots and let that just be enough. And even if these plants look a little bit droopy now, that's just because they've been sitting outside after the greenhouse for a few days, which is not recommended. I just didn't get a chance to do it before, right? So by the time they get some sunlight and I water these plants in, they're going to perk right up and they'll be fine. And there you have it, all planted in. Thank you so much for joining in for this little process here. This is going to save us so much money. It's going to be so convenient to have a nice little kitchen garden here. Remember, if you have any questions at all about this entire process from beginning to end, feel free to leave a comment and I'll be happy to get back to you. As well, remember, you can follow us on Instagram and tag us on Instagram when you have your nice little harvest. We're so happy to see what you have going on in your garden, and you on Instagram can see what's happening in our garden. Remember, if you know someone who could benefit from this information, share this video with them to encourage them to get up and get growing. Once again, this has been Dylan from the Trinidad channel reminding you to get up and get growing. Take care.